What's up, guys? Back again to do another SOTA Street Fighter figure review. This time we're looking at Dan Hibiki. This is one of the SOTA preview figures, so it shares the same body as the other preview figures and the regular line Akuma figure. It's it looks okay, but there are a couple problems, so keep an ear open to hear those. And we're gonna go ahead and get started with the player one version. This is the pink outfit Dan with the black inside, the black tank top. He's got the brown gloves, and at first glance he looks pretty good. Unfortunately, he suffers from poor execution. He's got really loose joints, and the paint app's not the greatest. I'll show you that, especially on the blue version. There are a lot of paint rub areas, the joints are loose or the joints stick, and the hand pegs tend to break. So I will also show you a good fix for those hand peg problems. Let's go ahead and talk about his accessories first. Comes with two different heads. We have the regular face, and then we have the crying face, as everybody knows Dan is known for. Go ahead and look at those up close. The sculpt isn't terrible. It's not great, but it is a little off, I think. It doesn't really look like Dan to me. And there's the crying face also. I mean, you know it's him because of the pink clothes and the hair, but it just, something about the sculpt is a little off, I think. So there's the two heads, and let's look at the hands. He's got a bunch of hands. As you can see, he's got the fist there already. He's got another fist, so two fists. He's got this open hand with a peg in it for the fireball. He's got another open hand for the other side with a peg for the fireball. He's got a thumbs up hand, and he also has another open hand that doesn't have the hole in it for the fireball. So plenty of hands there. And then since I'm talking about the fireball, might as well show you that. Nice translucent green fireball that Dan is known for. So there you have it. He's got all the articulation as the other preview figures, or the Akuma, which means all the regular SOTA articulation and just the single elbow joint there. Like I said, be careful though. His joints tend to either be really loose or really tight, and either way it's problematic, so be careful. If you are swapping out the hands, as you can see they all have the peg on them like you would expect, they tend to break off. The plastic's kind of brittle for Dan, so if that breaks off, best way to fix it, find a screw with a round head, drill it in, and it works perfectly just like the regular ball joint, or the ball peg. You'll have to try to pop out the other ball peg that's stuck in the joint. The best way to do that, hot water and a little tiny screwdriver should pop right out. Put this in, and you'll be good to go. So there's a nice little trick for you. There's the player one version of Dan. Let's set him aside and look at the other version. Same exact figure, same accessories and everything. The only difference is he has the blue gi with the yellow gloves, and his fireball is blue. Speaking of the bad paint, as you can see, there's spots, hopefully you can see them, kind of all over the place that don't look great. A lot of problems here and there. Then there's a lot of paint rub also. Look at that. It's all over his arm from the gi on both sides. Just not the greatest figure. His hair has gotten brown all over his back. I don't care for that too much. It's okay as long as you pose him in the right pose and put him on display, but it's still something to look out for. So there's only the two versions of Dan. They're both exclusive. I believe the pink one was Comic-Con and the blue one was, I don't know, Wizard World, something like that. I've never been to a convention, so I don't get them there. I get them secondhand from eBay or other collectors, so I'm not always 100% sure on the locations of the exclusives. As for height, just like the other previews, they're a little bit taller, coming in at about 6.5, roughly 6.5 inches. So he's a little bit taller, but he's still in scale with the other SOTA figures for the most part, especially with the other preview figures. If you're a big Dan fan, pick him up. It's a good figure. Since it's the only figure, it's a great figure, I guess, for Dan. But compared to the other SOTA figures, it's kind of lacking. So only get it if you really need to get him for the collection. Otherwise, it's not too big of a deal to pass on him. You're not really missing out too much. So hopefully that review is informative for you, and you will keep an eye out for more reviews in the future. In the meantime, keep collecting. Thanks for watching.